Last month we had our best month ever on Amazon, but in some ways it was kind of a failure. How is that possible? Stay tuned. Okay, so here you can see a screenshot of my Amazon Seller Central reports. And what I've done here is I've shown you the report for the month of April from April 1st through April 30th. We sold 408 orders or 439 units for $7,861. So it was a really good month in terms of the number of units, and this was our greatest sales volume yet. We were averaging over 1.08 units per ordered item and an average sales amount of 1927, which was also really good. And we had some big wins in here. We actually had some record days. Right here was the first one. You can see it was $613, which was a record. I think you can see a little better over here. And then we broke that record a few days later and did $882, which is still the most we've done in a single day on Amazon. So in terms of the amount of sales we had, the amount of items we sold, the average sales per order, record days, April was really, really good. So how is it possible that it really wasn't as great as it seems on the surface? All right, so let's drill down the numbers a little further. This is my inventory lab screen also for the month of April. So you can see all my specific numbers for selling on Amazon for the month. And Inventory Lab breaks it down on a per weekly basis. So here you see April 1st to the 6th, the 7th to the 13th, the 14th to 20th, 21st to 27th, and then the last 3 days right here. So you can see the amount of sales I did in each of those weeks and then a total over here. Now this one sometimes is a little different than Amazon just because things haven't totally reconciled through. But it really doesn't matter for the purposes of this video. It's still going to show you basically the same issue we ran into. So here's the number I really want to focus in on, cost of goods sold. This represents what we paid for the inventory that sold in the month of April. And you can see here we paid $2,077, which on the surface is a good number. But that's really where the problem came in. We realized after really going out and sourcing very, very hard in April that we did not have enough capital to replenish this easily, and we ran out of capital. We sold through all these items. Some of these items that sold this month were sent in previous months, but we still spent about $2,000 because if you think about it, every month you sell a certain amount of items and then you get your cost of goods sold back for those items, assuming you don't lose money on the items. Even if you just broke even, you would still get your cost of goods sold back. So the next month you could go out and spend that amount again. But we kind of ran into a little bit of a cash crunch, and a lot of people who sell on Amazon run into this. And you think, oh, I can go out and I can sell $7,000 worth of stuff. But what you forget is that you're going to need money for inventory to not only buy those items in the first place, but then replenish those items once they sell. So we realized very quickly as we got near the end of the month that we actually kind of screwed up, because if we had had more capital in March and February, we could have easily probably done $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, maybe even $12,000 in sales. But we cut ourselves too short on capital for inventory. And it's a good problem to have in the one sense to run out of capital when you're sourcing. But it's a bad problem if you realize that you missed out on opportunity, because if you go out and buy a bunch of inventory and then you don't sell it, or you sell it at a loss, that's bad. That sucks. But it's also just as devastating is if you could have been out sourcing more items and selling them very, very quickly, but you just run out of capital to do it. So it reminded us that this game on Amazon is all about making sure that you have cash flow, making sure that you keep your cost of goods sold, inventory money coming in so that you can get your money back out and make sales in the back end. You can see here we made about $1,870 profit on that $2,000 spend, which is pretty good. That's about 90% return basically on that $2,000, even on a per profit standpoint. But of course, we had a lot of expenses. I mean, Amazon's expensive to sell on $5,500 in profit. That works out to about a 25% net margin, which, from what we understand about Amazon, is about normal. Some people are as high as 30, some people are maybe 20. And you can see our net profit just added up each week. But imagine if we had double the inventory budget, we could have doubled all these numbers with no problem, because the sell-through on Amazon is so fast that really you don't run a lot of risk if you're buying items that are near the top of their sales rank categories and they're going to sell very quickly. A lot of our inventory is turning over in 30 to 45 days, which is just crazy when you think about how much stuff you send in, and it's just gone. In 2 months, it's all gone. So this was really a tremendous missed opportunity in terms of the amount of capital we didn't have and the amount of sales we missed out on. All right, so what did we learn about this missed opportunity? Well, the first thing we learned is we got to get more capital. So we've already taken a step, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but we actually got approved for a credit card, which we're going to use to fill in the gaps in between the payouts from Amazon. Amazon only pays you out every 2 weeks. So you get in this weird situation where you're waiting for your money before you can go back out to spend more money. So we're going to use the credit card to plug the gaps and pay it off before the interest comes due, and just use it as like a temporary loan. We looked at some business loans, but they weren't really practical for our setup and so on. So we decided to get a credit card, and we're going to be using that to fill in some of those gaps. Hopefully that'll help us keep from running out of capital quite so easily, at least in the near future. The second thing we did is we started focusing on more realistic growth goals. So we realized that we needed to have a goal for how much capital we wanted to spend every month, which should translate to sales every month as well. So we decided to start spending 10% more each month than the previous month. Now, that gets pretty aggressive after a while, so you've got to make sure you're sourcing items that will sell really quickly so you can get that money back out and keep paying off your credit card or keep having cash in your bank account. But if you do that and you pick the right sales ranks and the right categories and things move very quickly, every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, you'll be getting your money back out. You should be able to pay off your credit card interest, your credit card payment, and pay off the balance in full, and still have money in the bank to go out and source again. So we're going to be doing that sort of cycle over the next year or two to grow 10% each month. We'll see how that goes. We'll have to talk about that a little bit more in a future video. It's really beyond the scope of this one. But I think just having a plan, guys, for how you're going to spend your money, how you're going to get your money back out is so super important. Because if you don't do that, you'll end up in this situation where you can't really figure out why you're running out of money every month. Throw in there your operating expenses. Maybe you're paying yourself a salary. Maybe you're paying off bills. Maybe you've got supplies and insurance or an office or warehouse. And all of a sudden now you're really running short of capital every single month. And it's because you don't have a plan. Come up with a plan and then readjust, course correct as the business dictates to you how you're actually doing. So that's our plan going forward so that we don't miss out on these opportunities. We're still going to miss some opportunities, but we really want to be in a situation where we feel like we can spend as much time as possible sourcing, sending items into Amazon. We're not in the selling business. That's Amazon's gig. We're in the sourcing and replenishment business. As long as we keep sending them items that will sell very quickly, we win, they win, and the customer wins. Everybody's happy. So that's what we're going to do going forward. We hope that it works out. We'll just see. We'll keep you guys appraised of the situation as it goes, so to speak. So I hope this video is helpful. If you would like to leave me a question or comment, we'd love to hear from you, Karin and I. Please put it down below. There's helpful links in the description to a lot of the resources we use in our business. And if you click on any of those links and you're using those items, it doesn't cost you any more, but it does help with the channel. So thank you very much if you do that. We really appreciate it. We think you'll find a lot of value in those items as well. So until next time, this is Prof Sales saying, hey, good sales to you guys.